Imagine this. It is the first of the month. You wake up, you make your coffee, you check your bank account like you always do, and your Social Security payment is not there. Not reduced, not delayed, gone. Then you remember, there was a letter. It came a few weeks ago. It looked official, but you thought maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was junk mail. Maybe someone had the wrong address. So you set it aside. You told yourself you would deal with it later. And now your check is gone. I want you to know something right now. This is happening to real seniors across this country, and it is happening because of one letter that most people do not fully understand. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I am going to explain exactly what that letter means, what SSA can legally do to your check, and the 3 steps you must take to protect yourself. And I need you to stay until the end, because there is one mistake I see seniors make over and over again, and it costs them everything. My name is June. I am a senior policy analyst and retirement finance expert. I have spent years helping retirees understand the rules that the government does not explain clearly enough. I am not here to scare you. I am here to protect you. Because the rule I am about to explain is real. It is federal law. And if you or someone you love receives Social Security retirement, survivor, disability, or SSI benefits, this could affect you directly. Let us get into it. I want to tell you about a man named Robert. Robert is 67 years old. He lives in Ohio. He retired 3 years ago after working 38 years in manufacturing. He earned his benefits. He paid into the system his entire working life. Last year, Robert received a letter from the Social Security Administration. The letter said he had been overpaid. It said SSA had made an error going back 2 years and that Robert now owed them over $4,000. Robert was confused. He had not done anything wrong. He had not lied on any forms. He had not hidden any income. The error was on SSA's side, but Robert made a critical mistake. He did not understand the deadlines in that letter. He thought he had time to figure it out. He called a family member. He looked things up online. A few weeks passed. Then his next Social Security check was cut in half. Just like that, without warning, 50% of his monthly income gone. Robert panicked. He called SSA. He was told the withholding had already begun because he had not responded in time. It took Robert 4 months to sort out. 4 months of financial stress, 4 months of late bills, 4 months of anxiety that he did not deserve. And the saddest part, Robert had full legal rights that could have protected him. He just did not know about them in time. I am going to make sure that does not happen to you. Let us talk about what this letter actually is and what it means. When SSA pays you more money than you were legally entitled to receive, that is called an overpayment. It does not matter whose fault it is. It does not matter if SSA made the error. Federal law requires the agency to get that money back, and they do it by taking it directly from your monthly check. Here is what changed recently and why this became so urgent. In March of 2025, SSA announced they would begin withholding 100% of a beneficiary's monthly check to recover overpayments. The entire check, nothing left. That announcement caused enormous fear and backlash across the country, and rightfully so, SSA then reversed that policy. As of April 25, 2025, the default withholding rate for Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability overpayments is now 50% of your monthly benefit. So the answer to can they take your entire check is this. They tried, they announced it, then they pulled back. But 50% is still devastating for most seniors living on a fixed income. And here is what makes this even more painful. SSI recipients, those receiving supplemental security income, are only withheld at 10%. But regular Social Security retirement and disability beneficiaries face that 50% cut. Now, there is something even more important that Robert did not know. And this is the part I need you to hear very clearly. If you no longer receive Social Security benefits when an overpayment is discovered, SSA does not just give up. They can take your federal tax refund. They can intercept other government payments. And in some cases, they can garnish your wages. It does not end when your benefits end. And one more thing that many seniors do not realize. If you pass away before an overpayment is fully repaid, SSA can seek that money from family members who receive benefits based on your record. This is serious. This is federal law. And this is exactly why you cannot ignore that letter. Now, I want to tell you about the mistake I promised at the beginning. The biggest mistake seniors make is confusing two different deadlines. There are two separate time windows when you receive an overpayment notice, and mixing them up can cost you everything. The first deadline is 60 days. You have 60 days from the date you receive the notice to file a formal appeal if you believe the overpayment is wrong. SSA assumes you received the letter 5 days after it was mailed, so your 60-day clock starts from that point. The second deadline is 30 days. If you want SSA to pause collections while they review your request, you need to act within 30 days. Here is what happens when seniors mix these up. They think they have 60 days before anything happens to their check. They wait, they research, they talk to family, and then at the 30-day mark, withholding begins automatically because they waited too long. When that notice arrives at your door, 30 days is your critical window. Not 60, 30, your legal protections. Here is the part that gives me hope when I help seniors. Because you have more rights than SSA's letter makes it sound like you do. There are 3 official forms that protect you. These are real government forms, available on SSA's website right now. The first is Form SSA-561. This is a request for reconsideration. You file this if you believe you were not overpaid or if you believe the amount is wrong. Maybe the error was SSA's fault, maybe the dates are incorrect, maybe the calculation is off. This is how you formally say, I disagree. The second is Form SSA-632. This is a request for waiver of overpayment recovery. You file this if you agree you were overpaid, but you believe it was not your fault, and you genuinely cannot afford to repay it. This is the form that can get the debt completely forgiven in certain situations. The third is Form SSA-634. This is a request for change in overpayment recovery rate. This is for people who accept the debt but cannot afford to lose 50% of their check every month. You can negotiate a lower monthly repayment amount based on your financial situation. And here is the most important legal protection of all. When you file any one of these forms, SSA is required to stop collections while they review your request. The withholding pauses. Your full check is restored temporarily while SSA makes a decision, but you must file the form. You must act. Doing nothing means collections continue. 3 steps to protect yourself. Let me give you the exact 3 steps you need to take right now if you have received this letter or when you do receive it. Step 1. Do not ignore the letter. The moment a notice of overpayment arrives, read it immediately. Write down the date you received it. The clock has already started. You have 30 days to act before withholding begins. Step 2. Call SSA or visit your local office right away. The SSA helpline is 1-800-772-1213. If you are deaf or hard of hearing, the TTY number is 1-800-325-0778. Tell them you received a notice of overpayment and you want to know your options. Ask specifically about Form SSA-561, Form SSA-632, and Form SSA-634. Request that collections be paused while you gather your information. Step 3. Keep every document. Keep the original letter. Keep copies of any forms you submit. Keep notes with the date, time, and name of every person you speak to at SSA. If your case ever escalates, those records are your protection. Close. Call to action. I want to say one more thing before I go. Robert eventually got his situation resolved. He filed a waiver request. He showed SSA that the error was on their end. Collections were paused, and ultimately, part of his overpayment was forgiven. But those 4 months changed him. He told me he felt like the system he trusted his whole life had turned against him. And that feeling should never happen to a senior who followed every rule. You earned your benefits. You deserve to keep them, and you deserve to know your rights before it is too late. If you know a spouse, a friend, a neighbor, or a parent who receives Social Security, please share this video with them today, not tomorrow, today. Because these letters arrive without warning, and the clock starts immediately. And please do not rely only on YouTube notifications to stay informed about changes like this. SSA updated this policy twice in just 2 months in early 2025. These rules change. Subscribe to our channel, but also bookmark ssa.gov and check it directly for the most current information. I am June. Thank you for trusting me with your time. I will see you in the next video.